Hey there. I have been gone for an unforgivable amount of time. And, well, I'm back. I thought it would be nice. This week I have my finals coming up for dental school. And I am in the market for some procrastination. And I need something to distract me and give me something else to focus on so that I can re-enter the study space much more sharp and focused. And so maybe you need to take a moment away from what you're doing in your life to sort of refresh and reset your mind. And maybe I need to shut my door because I can hear cars outside. It's quieter now. Some people like a little bit of white noise in the background. I personally don't mind. But for those of you that don't, the door is now shut. But back to what I was saying. I think whenever I'm looking for like in a video to relax to, like an ASMR video, I feel like there's part of me that's looking for some sort of relief from what it may be that is worrying me. Something to distract my mind enough that I can relax and, forget a little while about what I was doing. I think that's what we're all looking for. Something that makes you feel like how you maybe felt when you watched your first ASMR video. I remember when I was younger and I was in middle school, I started to sleep worse. I started to be more anxious, and I didn't really know how to deal with my stress. I would usually play lots of video games, which I felt allowed me to distract myself from family life, friends, things at school. And so, it worked well enough for me, but I still wasn't sleeping well. And when it would come time for the evening and I would get off the game, it's like I just felt this overwhelming, this pain that I had been pushing off and ignoring all day. Because as soon as I could get back into another match, it all went away. And I don't game as much anymore, so I don't have that day-to-day experience as often. But back when I first found ASMR, that's kind of where I was at. And I remember I stumbled upon JoJo's channel, and I was like, what is this ASMR thing that they're doing? They're making sounds, and it kind of relaxes me. I feel kind of good and tingly inside, and it's really interesting. And then I was like, I can't tell anybody I watch this. Nobody can know. None of the guys can know I watch ASMR. And so it stayed that way. But I watched a lot of JoJo and Ravi, PJ, Fish and Whispers, Dong when he started. Who else? I used to like Isaac. I enjoyed his story times. I enjoyed people who would talk, but I think PJ was somebody I really enjoyed listening to. And there were a few others who would talk about topics that I found almost philosophical or, intellectually intriguing, that made me reflect. And I like doing that too. I think that's one gift that I guess I bring to my channel and to the world is, when you're able to observe and pay attention, eventually you begin to notice things. So if you're having trouble with something, a relationship, a feeling, a job, maybe a goal you're trying to achieve, maybe something just doesn't feel right, I'd sometimes we are too afraid to face it. And other times we're ready to face it. And we think that by grinding or going after something, I know for men specifically, like we tend to just want to grind, to work hard. And I know women do that too, in their own right. I just know like guys that I know especially, like that's what we did when we got to like college and stuff. When there was something we felt like we wanted to change, it didn't matter what it was, if we could get control over our lives by, demonstrating success and discipline to ourselves, I think it gave us a better sense of control over our lives, but it didn't necessarily fix the root cause or the problem. And so, the way I handle anything in life is typically just to observe it until it becomes clear what I need to do. And then, when I started, like, my journey, I like to say, when I started to get older, and I realized I had to be an adult. I don't know if you remember, if you are over the age of 18, the moment that you realize that you are no longer a kid anymore. I remember that one. That one was tough. I didn't like that too much. The responsibilities, what I knew I had to do from then on out, I was like, man, like my childhood, you cherish it, but it has to come to an end. All good things do. All bad things do too, so that's good. But that was interesting. It's an interesting transition point in life. And it leads to a lot of great things. But I also think like immediately after that can, for a lot of people, be a very challenging time of life, like the early 20s. Trying to find your way in life, trying to figure out what to live by, who to live for. Some people live for themselves, some people live for others, some people live for themselves and others. What do you do with your life? I know that's a question for a lot of people. I, myself, didn't have too much trouble with career, because I chose my career when I was younger. I was very blessed to make that decision at an early age. I didn't want to have to deal with that when I was older. And so I kind of like, it was one of those things where it's like, I don't know, I didn't want to do it all, but I was like, I have to accept this. And I'm very glad I did. Proud of my 11-year-old self for being like, man, what do I actually need to do with my life when I get older? And I went and chose a path and prepared my way to go down it. And I'm very grateful to my parents too. I mean, I think like without them, it would have been much harder to get to where I'm at. I wasn't a very disciplined kid, and I didn't like doing hard things. I don't think anybody really likes doing hard things. Even David Goggins doesn't like doing hard things, but he does it anyways. But yeah, I'm glad that I chose the path that I did, but there were many times where I was questioning what I wanted to do, not career-wise, but like with my life as a whole. Like what is, there's so many open-ended questions that I feel like one has to answer in order to know how to, go through life. And, what's your purpose? Is there an objective purpose? Is there a subjective purpose? What is your purpose? Why do you live? What do you live for? What do you want to live to do? And I think a lot of times, like, our purpose can be instilled into us, or at least subconsciously what we live for is something that has been placed onto us either from society or parents or friends or whatever. Because, like, when you're a kid, and you want things, like let's say you wanted the Nike Elites. I don't know if anyone's from that generation, but me and my friends like to have this conversation. When I was a kid, there were these socks. They were called Nike Elites, and they had little stripes on them, and they came in different colors. And if you were in gym, and I remember being maybe in 3rd grade, and if you did not have multiple pairs, and you would know that people had multiple pairs because you would pay attention to their socks like every day. And I'd be like, oh, he's wearing, blue and white ones today. Oh, he's wearing red and black ones. Oh man, he has so many pairs. And it was like the social hierarchy was literally built off what type of socks you had, which had nothing to do with you. It just meant like your parents had the money to buy them and the will to buy them for you. And, well, I mean, I wasn't very spoiled as a kid, not in the slightest. And eventually I got my first pair of like white and black ones for Christmas. And that changed my world, turned my world upside down. But that's all I cared about at the time. I mean, I cared about other things, like, for sure, but like the main driver was this social standard that was placed on me by people I was around, and I felt like I had to have this thing, but what value does that sock even have? You know? And it doesn't have any value inherently, but we place value on everything, you know? We place value on people, we place value on items and things. And there are things that inherently have value to us in some way, or at least impact us in some way. Like, you know, you're not actively saying to nature to give you, or, you know, you're not actively placing some value on nature, which is why it gives you some feeling. Like, what I'm trying to say is, being out in nature gives us this refreshing feeling, and that's not something you're actively doing, or you were, like, conditioned to do. I think it's innate. It's something that's biologically, you know, in our makeup. But then there's things like this, where it's like you have control, to some degree, over what things you care about in life. And so, that's why, you know, you don't have to take the traditional route in life. Just because someone told you had to do something doesn't mean you have to do it. Sometimes there's a good reason to listen to what everyone else says, but a lot of times there's also not. And so, I think it's interesting when people place value on, you know, possessions. I see literally no point, unless it, like, provides a functional advantage to me in life, then I don't care. I don't care about driving a nice car, because it doesn't give me any advantage. Maybe social status, but I still don't really care about social status, because if I start to care about social status, then I start to care about people's opinions of me, which makes me vulnerable to, it makes me emotionally unstable, and it's just not the type of person I want to be, driven by other people's motives. It makes you, you know, very malleable, among other things. And I'm very happy with myself and my friends, and so I don't really need to feel good about myself because people like me. Because people do. And it's the people that I want to like me, the people I care about and love. But everyone else, no, I don't need to be like, oh man, you have such a nice car. Stupid, doesn't matter. So, but like, I'll buy a supplement, you know? I'll like, try to like, you know, if it helps me exercise better, if it helps me think better, focus better, sleep better, live better, be happier, within the confines of what I'm looking for, then I'll do it. But I don't care about any of that. But like, we're programmed and conditioned to care. And then money's an interesting topic. You kind of have to care about money, because money buys you health care. Money buys you safety and security. But you don't want to get wrapped up in anything. Because if you care about something so deeply, it makes you susceptible to your to your emotions, to other people, to manipulation, to a lot of things. And so for me, I find it best to not get super wrapped up and care about anything too much, unless you're willing to risk it, which sometimes it is. Because sometimes in order for something good to happen, you know, you have to be willing to take a risk, which involves some sort of consequence befalling you. If you want to get into a relationship, you have to risk getting hurt. You know, if you want to have a job, you gotta risk getting rejected from the job, not getting the job. You start a business, you gotta risk the business failing. You know, anything that comes with risk can come with high reward. So, it just depends. Just take calculated risk. But anyways, I'm gonna take a break for a second. I don't really plan my videos too much. I just get a concept in mind. I wasn't even going to talk this video like that, but I mean, we're 14 minutes in and I chatted for a little while. Just kind of go with the flow. I kind of like these little hand claps.
finger flutters with my right hand, but like with my left hand, like my fingers just don't want to work. 3 of them move together and the other one moves, and so I'm literally just flapping like this. That's about all we get. But with this one, it's better. A little bit. I'm not the best at finger flutters, so that's why I don't really do them that often, but that's okay. Oh, and to explain my absence for those who are still here, which means I assume you enjoy my content. I have been very busy. School's been very busy. I had break for a week, which was great. Got to go home and see family and friends. I was with friends pretty much every single day. I wanted to record actually with friends, but I literally had no time. And like the people that I wanted to record with, I couldn't get together in the same room. And so it just didn't end up happening, which is a bummer. Because my one friend who was on the channel a lot, Camden, he did the mukbang with me. He's been in like all the specials. Love that guy. Known him forever. He is in Zimbabwe, not very close to where I live. So he will not be here when I'm home, and I'm only home 4 weeks a year. So it sucks low-key. Like, I wish I could have gotten a video with him before I left, but it didn't happen. But I still have a lot of other people that I can record with, friends that I've never had on the channel who have wanted to record with me, but have not had the opportunity. So you might be in store for special guests, or I might have no videos when I'm back home again. But this time I'm home for 2 weeks instead of 1, which is good, so I'll have more time. But I just spent the whole time like catching up with friends and family and playing basketball, and they opened the gym just for me, just because I was back. Because what that means is essentially on Thanksgiving week they usually don't have the gym open, but since I was coming home and I'm only home like barely be home anymore, they specially opened the gym and everybody came out, and we had both Saturdays we had fun. It was great. It was a blast. It was great. It's so encouraging. Like, I felt so loved and so like valued. I got tackled, hugged. Everybody missed me, and I missed them equally as much, if not more. And being home just showed me how great and how valuable what I have is, and how much I miss it being here. And I like the people I have here as friends, actually. It's taken me a little while to like get settled in and like get to know people and figure out who I want to like spend a lot of time with. And I found a group of people and individuals as well, that I like a lot. I think really quality, down to earth people. There's quite a few among the sea, and I'm really grateful for that. The people encouraging. And one of my friends made me bread yesterday. It was awesome. It was so good. Oh my gosh. We're gonna do a bread trade. I'm being like roped into it. And like, I used to make banana bread, but it's been like a year since I've made banana bread, and I also don't have a tray here like that I can like cook it in. So like, I know how, and I literally have overripe bananas frozen in the fridge, so I can easily just get them out and like put everything in a bowl and make it all. But like we gotta study. I have like 5 exams next week, but I don't know. Like, ASMR is such a de-stressor for me. It's so chill. It's like looking like meditation. Because I have to be very like calm and like deliberate about like my actions. And I know I have to I try to look at the camera. I try to be quiet. Try to be aware of like my speed, my pitch, my tone, all that. So it keeps me mindful. Let's tap on something for a little bit. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of extra content because I don't know when I'm going to be back. And if I can make this one a little bit longer, it gives you, a little bit of extra time to spend with me and me with you. So, but how are you doing? If you want to leave me a comment, that'd be great. Just share with me maybe an update from your life, what you're doing right now.
something that's a highlight, maybe share something challenging. I'll give you a reply for that too. Or reply despite. No matter what, but I hope you're doing well. Me personally, doing pretty well. Yeah, things are good. Just busy. I did not mean to do that. Ooh, cork. It's a cork tray. Nice and deep sounding. I need to eat and get ready for class, but I hope this was enjoyable, relaxing, and maybe what you needed right now. It definitely helped me, and I will be back as soon as I can, as soon as possible. I know the kids want to record with me when I get home. I don't have children. I'm not saying that. My cousin and his friends, they were begging me to record last time when I was home, and I had to spend the day with my brother. Well, didn't have to. I very much wanted to. And I had already done that. I had plans to do that, and so I didn't get to record with them. But hopefully when I go back again, we'll be able to get a little video in. They want to do like a 2v2 or something. I was thinking I would 1v3 all of them and destroy them. But anyways, it has been great, and I'll be back soon, like I said,